Hey guys, welcome and thank you for joining us for session 3 of the Who's Your One evangelism training. If you haven't already done so, take a moment and head over to 22church.com/WYO and fill out the short form that registers you for this class. That's going to help us pray for you, pray for your one, get you the resources that you need, and then also just follow up with you as you go through this training resource. So that's a really important step that you register that you're taking this, and let us know, all right? Thanks for doing that. Now, in the first 2 sessions, we talked about getting a heart for your one, you getting a heart for your one to come to know Jesus, and then the importance of praying for your one to come to faith in Jesus. Today, as we move forward in this training, we're going to be looking at the next step, which is inviting your one to come to church. You know, advertisers say it takes about 7 touches or 7 connection points before someone connects their product with the provider. In other words, that might be emails or commercials or mail outs or social media or whatever, but it takes 7 different points of contact. You know, the thing is, we all say that we hate mail outs and unsolicited email. You know, we call it spam or junk mail or whatever. But the truth is, when we find ourselves in a place where we need something, maybe something breaks down and you need to know who to call to fix it, or you find yourself needing a new appliance, or just whatever it is, when we find ourselves needing something, we ask ourselves that question: who do I know? Who can I turn to meet this need that I have? Well, you know, people don't just ask this question of who can I turn to when it comes to physical or material needs. They also ask it when it comes to spiritual and personal needs. People have questions about life. People have questions about what's after this life. They have questions about why they're here and what their purpose is. They know that there must be something more to this life than what they're experiencing. And when those questions come up, when those thoughts come up, they need to know who they can turn to. They need to know who they can ask those questions to. And that's where you and I come in. That's where Who's Your One comes in. Today, we're talking about inviting your one to church. Inviting your one and making those contacts, making those touches so they know who to talk to when they have those spiritual needs. Listen, I get it. Sometimes inviting people to church can feel a lot like giving them an unsolicited piece of junk mail. And some people may even respond to it that way. But I want you to keep in mind that when people have questions, when people go through struggles, when they need to talk to somebody about some deep issues, who do you think they're going to talk to first? Who do you think they're going to turn to? It's going to be the person that has been planting those seeds, that person who has been inviting them to church, that person who has shown a deeper interest in them and making those connection points. Listen, God is going to use your simple act of inviting someone to church to help your one become a believer, to help your one take steps towards becoming a Christ follower. So here's what I want to do. I want to give you a few simple things you can do as you get ready to invite your one to come to church. So the first thing you can do is pray. And you're going to see that prayer is an essential step at every step along the way in your one coming to faith in Jesus. Everything hinges on prayer. Would you say that with me? Everything hinges on prayer. Let me give you 3 things that you can pray about. Number 1, pray that you would be looking for opportunities to invite your one. Now, we're going to talk about some opportunities later, but first, pray that you would always have this heart and this head that is looking for opportunities to invite your one to Jesus. Listen, guys, if you go fishing, or girls, if you go fishing or hunting, you're looking for what it is that you're going after. Same thing as if you go shopping, you're looking for something in particular. I know when Bridget and I go shopping, I'm always looking for a great space, a great place to park the car. That's just where my head is, you know. In the same way, as you pray that your heart and your head would be looking for opportunities to invite your one to church. Another thing to pray for is to pray for your one to be open and receptive to your invitation. You know, the Bible talks about the heart, and it talks about sometimes the heart is hard and rocky, and then sometimes the heart is soft and tender. Pray that that the Holy Spirit would begin to work on your one's heart so that they would have a soft and tender heart, receptive to your simple invitation to come to church. And then a third thing to pray for is pray that you wouldn't chicken out. Pray for strength and courage and boldness on your part so that when you get that opportunity and when your one is receptive, that you wouldn't chicken out at the last minute, but that you would actually invite them. So the first thing to do is to pray. The second thing is to look for opportunities. I talked about this a minute ago about praying for them. I want to talk to you about some specific opportunities you can look for to invite your one to church. Just some really natural times for you to invite your one to church. One of those is special Sundays. You know, Easter, Christmas, Mother's Day, those are probably the three biggest days out of the year that people are open to coming to church. They're open to being invited to church. Matter of fact, a lot of people expect, if they know you're a believer, they expect you to invite them to church on one of those days. So look for special Sundays. Another thing you can do is look for special events. You know, if maybe it's VBS for the children's ministry, or youth game nights in our youth ministry, men's monthly prayer breakfast, or maybe a women's retreat. If your ministry or one of the ministries in your church has some kind of special event, that is a great time for you to invite your one to come to church. Matter of fact, that's one of the reasons we do those special events, is to give you opportunities to invite your one to church. You can also do this with special sermon series. If there's a special series we're going through, that might be something that might really connect with people. Not too long ago, we went through the Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd series, and when it got to the passage about going through the valley in the shadow of death, I made a special effort to invite some of my friends, because you and I know that people go through rough times. People go through difficult times. And I just thought, you know, of all the series that we're talking about, or all the sermons we're going through in this, that was going to be one that I thought had the best potential to connect with people. And so that was, for me, a great opportunity to invite them. So special Sundays, special events. And then a third thing to look for is for celebrations. You know, baptism is one of the celebrations that we do here at our church. And if you're getting baptized, or your kid or someone in your family, that is a great time to invite your one to church, especially if your one is a family member. We sometimes have special Sundays, special celebrations for kids or teenagers. Those are great opportunities also to invite people. Your son or daughter might be singing a song, reading a scripture, giving a testimony, whatever, but you can invite your one and say, man, we're celebrating something really cool in the life of my child, and I would love for you to come and be a part of it. You know, it's interesting, 80% of people say that they would come to church if a friend would just invite them. And so your one may just be one invitation away from them taking a step towards Jesus. So pray, look for opportunities, and then number 3 is give the invitation. One of my favorite stories in the Bible, one of my favorite invitation stories in the Bible, is from John chapter 1. There's this dude named Philip who has just started following Jesus, and he is so excited about it, he goes and tells his friend Nathanael about it. John chapter 1, beginning in verse 45. Let's read this. It says, Philip found Nathanael and said to him, "We have found him of whom Moses in the law and also the prophets wrote, Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph." Nathanael said to him, "Can anything good come out of Nazareth?" Philip said to him, "Come and see." Man, what I love about this story is that Philip is genuinely excited about Jesus. He has found the one they've been looking for, the Messiah, the Christ, the one who would save people from their sins. He has found Jesus. And on top of that, he wants others to find Jesus too. And what's really cool is that he doesn't let Nathanael's skepticism knock him off track. He doesn't get into a big theological argument with him about who Jesus is. What does he do? He just says, "Come and see." Philip simply gives Nathanael an invitation to come and check Jesus out for himself. You know what? That's really all an invitation is. It's you inviting your one to come and see for themselves that Jesus is the real deal, that He's who they've been looking for, that He's who changed your life and can change their life also. So I've got some homework for you, some things for you to do. Okay, so write these down. Hopefully you've been taking notes, but write these steps down. First thing is this, check the calendar. You know, we talked about special Sundays and special events and things like that. Check the calendar and see what's coming up. As we're recording this video, Easter is just a couple of weeks away. That's the next big thing in the life of our church. But typically there's something coming up about once every month or two that you can invite someone to. So check the calendar, see what's coming up, and begin working on inviting your one. The second homework item for you is to pray. Pray for yourself, pray for them, and pray that you wouldn't chicken out. Pray for your one to be receptive to your invitation. Pray for opportunities and pray that you'd follow up with them. And then the third thing is very simple. Invite your one. Actually follow through with it and do it. One of the things that I like to use, and we've got plenty of these that we can get to you, we've got these little cards that say you're invited on one side, and then on the other it's got our church name and address and website and the time we meet. I carry these with me in a little business card holder. I keep them in my front pocket as a reminder that whenever I come across somebody that I want to invite to church, I've got a way to just simply say, hey, you're invited. You can use these with your one. You can really use them with anyone. But that's a great tool and a great reminder for you to not keep this in your pocket, not keep it in your wallet, let it get all dinged up and, messed up or whatever, the corners bent up, but to get it, and while it still looks good and fresh and clean, to give it to your one as an invitation. So, listen, I am so proud of you that you're doing this, that you're taking this evangelism training. I want you to stick with it. I want you to stay faithful. Don't give up. I'm looking forward to how God is going to use you as you press on to reach your one for Jesus. God bless you.